You ever notice how the loudest opinions in the gym come from people who've never actually done the thing? That's the entire fitness industry in one sentence, and there's a brand new study that proves it in the weirdest possible way. Stick with me, because this gets wild. There's fresh reporting out of the New York Times Well section published this June, and the headline is about something completely unrelated to fitness on the surface. But the pattern inside it? It's the exact same pattern wrecking your training, your nutrition, and your recovery right now. Here's the line that stopped me cold. Despite widespread support in polls, the number of people who actually go through with the practice remains very small. Read that again. Widespread support, very small follow-through. That gap, that canyon between what people say they back and what people actually do, that is the single most important sentence in fitness this year, and nobody is talking about it like this. Let me explain why this matters for your physique. Ask 100 lifters if progressive overload is the king of hypertrophy. 99 hands go up. Ask how many tracked their working weight on the bench press across the last 8 weeks. You'll get maybe 4 hands, maybe. Ask 100 people if they believe protein intake drives muscle growth. Unanimous? Ask how many hit 1 gram per pound of body weight yesterday. The room goes quiet. Ask if sleep matters for recovery. Everyone nods. Ask who got under 6 hours last night. Half the hands go right back up. This is the polls versus practice problem, and it is annihilating your gains. You already know what works. That is not the issue. The issue is that knowing and doing live in 2 completely different zip codes, and your body only responds to the second one. Let me get specific, because vague advice is how you stay stuck. Take the squat. You've heard 1,000 times that depth matters, that hitting parallel or below is where the quad and glute recruitment actually live. Survey a gym, everyone agrees. Film those same people on a heavy set of 5. Most of them are cutting it 3 inches high and calling it a working set. The poll says full depth. The practice says ego. Same story with the deadlift. Everyone agrees you should brace your core, set your lats, and pull with a neutral spine. Watch the warm-up platforms at any commercial gym on a Monday. You'll see lumbar spines curling like shrimp under 2 plates. The belief is there, the execution is not. And this is where the science nobody explains comes in. Your nervous system does not care what you believe. Your muscle fibers do not care what you endorsed in a survey. Hypertrophy is a response to mechanical tension applied through a full range of motion, repeated across weeks, with progressive load. That is the entire equation. If your practice does not match your stated beliefs, your physique tells the truth. Let me hit you with another one, the push-up. Polls say push-ups are foundational. Everyone agrees, but watch what happens when someone tries to do 100 a day for 30 days, which is the classic challenge floating around every fitness channel right now. By day 6, the elbows are flaring out at 90 degrees. By day 12, the hips are sagging, and the lower back is doing half the work. By day 20, they're doing what is functionally a worm with arms. The belief in the push-up is total. The actual push-up has left the building. And here's the mistake nobody calls out. When your elbows flare to 90 degrees on a push-up, you are loading the anterior shoulder capsule and the long head of the biceps tendon in a way they are not designed to handle under repeated volume. That is how you get that nagging front delt pain that just will not go away. Tuck the elbows to about 45 degrees. Keep the shoulder blades retracted and depressed. Squeeze the glutes, brace the core like someone is about to punch you in the stomach. That is the difference between 100 push-ups that build a chest and 100 push-ups that build an orthopedic appointment. Now apply the same lens to nutrition. You've seen the polls. Americans overwhelmingly say they want to eat healthier. The actual grocery data tells a completely different story. The gap between intention and behavior is the entire reason the supplement industry exists. People want a pill that closes the gap because closing it with discipline is hard. I'm going to say something that might sting. The reason your body has not changed in the last 6 months is not that you don't know enough. It's that you keep voting yes in the poll and no in the practice. You keep telling yourself you believe in the plan while your behavior runs a completely different program in the background. So what do you do about it? You stop measuring yourself by what you support and start measuring yourself by what you log. 3 numbers, just 3. Your working weight on 1 main lift per session. Your protein in grams, your sleep in hours. That's the entire dashboard. If those 3 numbers are trending in the right direction across 4 weeks, your physique will follow. If they are not, no amount of belief in the process will save you. Let me give you the brutal version. Most people in the gym are running on what researchers call stated preference. They say they want to be lean, they say they want to be strong, they say they value consistency, but their revealed preference, what they actually do when nobody is watching on a Tuesday night, tells the real story. Revealed preference is the only currency your biology accepts. Here's the rep scheme that will change your training this week. Pick 1 compound lift, squat, bench, deadlift. overhead press, or weighted pull-up, just one. For the next 4 weeks, you are going to do 5 sets of 5 reps twice a week, and you are going to add 5 pounds to the bar every single session if your form holds. That is it. That is the entire program for that lift. If you can squat 135 for 5 sets of 5 today, in 4 weeks you should be squatting somewhere between 175 and 195 for the same scheme. That is a real, measurable, undeniable change. That is your beliefs and your practice finally shaking hands. And here's the part most channels will not tell you. The reason this works is not magic. It's that you removed the gap. You stopped having opinions about training and started executing one specific protocol with one specific number that you cannot lie about. The bar weighs what it weighs. The plates do not care about your podcast intake. Now zoom out one more time. The NYT piece is about a serious topic with real human weight, and I'm not trivializing it. But the underlying pattern it surfaces is the most important pattern in all of human behavior. We are creatures who confuse our beliefs with our actions, our intentions with our outputs, our identity with our evidence. The gym is just the cleanest possible laboratory for watching that confusion play out. The mirror does not negotiate. The scale does not negotiate. The bar does not negotiate. Either you did the work or you didn't. So before your next session, ask yourself one question. What did you actually do this week, not what did you believe in? Pull up your training log, pull up your food tracker, pull up your sleep data if you have a watch, compare it to what you say you stand for. If there is a gap, that gap is your physique. Literally, your body is a perfect rendering of the difference between your polls and your practice over the last 12 months. There is no other variable. Genetics shape the ceiling, but the gap determines where you actually live under that ceiling. And the wildest part is this: closing the gap by even 10%, just 10% more consistency on those 3 numbers I mentioned, is enough to put you ahead of 90% of the people who train next to you. Not because you're more gifted, not because you found a secret program, because you stopped voting and started executing. That is the whole game. That has always been the whole game. So the next time you catch yourself nodding along to a fitness video, mine included, pause and ask the harder question. Are you going to add this to your beliefs, or are you going to add it to your behavior? Because one of those changes your identity on social media, and the other one changes the person staring back at you in the mirror. Polls are cheap. Practice is the only currency your body spends.